Hey guys, this is Lex here from Booredatwork.com, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the iPhone 5 and the Samsung Galaxy S5. We're going to take a little bit of a time outside, see how the displays work outside. I mean, in terms of specs, you guys know what these things are packing. This is going to be a full overview, but just in general, gist of the internals and just in terms of usability of the device. Okay guys, now what we have here is pretty much a hardware comparison between the Samsung Galaxy S5 and the iPhone 5. Starting with in terms of the thickness, as you can see here, the Samsung Galaxy S5 it may be a bit thicker. I don't know the exact measurements, but it does look a bit thicker here. Putting it that way, it really does. There's a little bump in the back, especially because of that camera, that 16 megapixel camera on the back. So the iPhone 5 is still running in that thinness department in terms of that. On the front here, you have pretty much a big difference. You have a 4-inch display on the iPhone 5. And then you also have pretty much a 5.1 inch on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Looking at the bottom here, you have pretty much the ports for the devices. Now the headphone jack is located on the top for the S5 and on the bottom for the iPhone 5. Okay. Now moving a little bit along here on the sides, you have the power button on the S5. This has become pretty much a common theme with Samsung devices. They're pretty big now, as you can tell. So you do need something that's more accessible. And on the iPhone, it is always located at the top. Moving on the back here, you do have a heart rate monitor with the Samsung Galaxy S5. They are trying to promote a healthier lifestyle, probably because of the upcoming iWatch that is coming from Apple. But in general, I've used it. I don't know if it gets accurate, but overall, it's there. In terms of aesthetics, I wish it wasn't, but they've made up for it with this new Fox leather textured back on the S5. As you guys know, the iPhone has an aluminum cover here, so that's pretty much known with the glass front. It's very premium, very durable, very sexy. But overall, in general usage, you got to look at the S5 for day-to-day use in terms of grit and durability, because if you do drop it, you don't have to worry too much about nicks and dimes. With the iPhone 5, you really do have to worry about that. On the back here, you do have a 16 megapixel camera with optimal image stabilization on the S5. Now on the iPhone here, you have the 8 megapixel with a single LED flash. Now, because of the 4-inch display, retina display of the iPhone 5, images still look crisp and great, but output is definitely better on the S5. You guys can check the camera stills and the video quality from our samples. Okay guys, now this is a video sample of the iPhone 5 8 megapixel camera. This is 1080p HD recording right now. I'm at pretty much the biggest city park in the world right now. This is Fairmount Park. This is a pretty good video sample as to how the quality is. Now it isn't too sunny out, so the video is a bit darker, but in terms of frame rate, things are looking pretty well. There's really no problem here stabilizing the camera whatsoever. This doesn't have OIS, but at the same time it is working pretty well. Move up here a little bit just to get some more detail in the images. See if we can move up here. Okay guys, now this is a recording with the Samsung Galaxy S5. This is the 1080p video HD resolution. Now this is on a 16 megapixel camera. This camera pretty much blows the iPhone 5. As you can see here, the details, the frame rate, and just the overall color variance that you get with this camera. Not to mention, I'm looking at it on the 5.1 inch display. Everything just looks pretty great. I'm actually gonna move in here, get closer to this. Now look at that detail, guys. That is amazing. Now this is the normal mode. I've made sure that I recorded on the normal mode for both phones. There is a smooth motion setting on this Galaxy S5 that would just blow the iPhone 5, so we're just gonna make it fair here. But overall, this is pretty much HD recording on the Galaxy S5. The S5 just blows this device away in that regard. Looking to the front here, you do have power buttons here. On the iPhone 5, it's pretty much the regular home button that you always gotten. And on the S5, there is a new feature now with the Touch ID, very similar to Touch ID with fingerprint scanner. I'll show you in terms of the software review how that works. Okay, now guys, we're going to be comparing display technologies and outdoor visibility for the iPhone 5 and the Samsung Galaxy S5. As you guys know, AMOLED has also been known for having great outdoor visibility and power consumption, and the IPS LCD display on the iPhone 5 has been questionable at times, so we're actually going to compare them now. So turning on both devices, as you can see, there you go. It's not too bad. I'm not in a really sunlight area, so results won't be as accurate in your area, but at the same time, as you can see, there's really no big difference here. I'm actually going to unlock the phone for the iPhone 5. Let me put my code in. Okay, now my code's in for there. I'm actually going to showcase the fingerprint scanner on the Galaxy S5. So you can see here, I'm going to click that, and there you go. And it read it the first time. Now, there has been reports online that there's been issues with that fingerprint scanner on the S5. You just got to know how to use it, and if you know how to use it, it works pretty well. But in terms of security, the Touch ID on the iPhone is still outbeats it without a doubt. Okay, going throughout the operating system, as you can see here, very similar. iOS 7 has just been pretty much changed visually, and on the Galaxy S5, speed isn't as great as I would expect with a Snapdragon 800 processor inside. Speed is always great on the iPhone. This is the 5, so 5S has a 64-bit processor, but at the same time, it runs well on these specs. It's been barely tailored to the hardware. Okay, guys, now that we're wrapping things up, it's pretty much the comparison between the iPhone 5 and Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, this is the 5, it's not the 5S, so it's not a very true comparison of the current modern smartphones. But for those people that haven't upgraded yet to the 5S, this is a pretty good look at like what you're getting in terms of modern premium technology versus somewhat outdated, but not really, because the way the tech industry goes. But overall, that is the review. Be sure to like, share, favorite the video, guys. Comment in the sections below. We like to hear your feedback. Subscribe if you haven't already, and remember to always enjoy your entertainment. Thanks, guys.